You know, I'm sure someone has said this before, but you don't play with the creepy dolls.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you happen to be new here. We are well within the month of October. Sorry, this is a little late getting started, but if you are unaware or if you happen to be new to the channel, the month of October serves for two purposes when it comes to this channel. Number one, it is the month of my birthday, and that is coming rapidly quickly, and I have to just accept the fact that time is just a construct and constantly moving forward, and I eventually will turn to dust and return to the earth from which I came.
Okay.
And two, I actually get outside of my comfort zone and watch horror movies because horror is not my genre. So for the first entry of this month of spookiness, we will be doing a retro review for Annabelle. This is the first Annabelle movie that came out in 2014. This is the spin-off from the Conjuring universe. Remember The Conjuring? I did a review for that like 2 years ago. That was fun. So I figured let's jump to the creepy doll version, shall we? This is the story of John and Mia, who are the young couple, and John just thought with his expecting wife, he will get her a lovely gift, which happens to be a vintage doll. I'm assuming the doll's name was Annabelle, or was it the weird demonic cultist who broke into the house and killed themselves holding the doll, transferring the demon inside the doll, and then the demon decided to wreak havoc in this young couple's lives, trying to claim somebody's soul. This movie is over 10 years old, and it's a retro review, so there are some spoilers that will be within this review of the movie. But this is really just my thoughts on it. Usually that's what a retro review is. It's a movie that is well past its prime, and I'm usually checking it out for the very first time, so that's what this is. And also a spooky season, so let's talk about this creepy doll. So Annabelle is based off an actual doll. Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were the psychics slash demonologists who would go around looking at cases of demonic stuff and supernatural things like that. They were the impetus for the Conjuring movies as well as the spin-off of Annabelle. The doll is apparently a real doll. The movie focuses on this young family who Mia is the wife who is expecting a new baby, her first baby, and the husband brings the doll into the house. The doll is not, for all intents and purposes, possessed at this point, but apparently their neighbors in this small town have a daughter who ended up with a demonic cult that decided to kill them and then sneak over and try to kill them, and the daughter ends up killing herself. There's a lot of K's in this. Please don't flag me, YouTube. Transferring the demon spirit into the doll, and then the crazy stuff begins to happen. I don't know if this is a sign that I have adjusted more to horror movies, at least the horror of like suspense or maybe, you know, spooky type ghost demon stuff, horror genres. I've done a few at this point, but one thing is constant for most of the ones, at least within the Conjuring movies that I've seen so far. Why are people so stupid? Because once the bad stuff happens, there's everything that is done to explain it away, not get the out of the house. There is a moment where Mia wants to remove the doll because of her daughter Leia, not that Leia, might be in danger. So tells the husband to get rid of it. The husband throws it away. Then the house sets on fire. There you go. And then they move to an apartment building and the doll appears. But instead of incinerating the doll right then and there, Mia decides to keep it because it was a gift. What the Mia? The movie has some pretty good spook moments for myself. Again, I'm not the biggest horror movie person. I am a chicken shit when it comes to certain things of a horror element. But I realize now I'm reacting more not in a scared way when I'm watching these movies, but more of a like confusion as to the stupidity of humanity. I could just watch the news at this point to do it, but I digress. The first half of the movie is kind of slow when it comes to that sort of thing, and it is slightly infuriating to see the characters, which in certain aspects feel like you're acting out of a character of a normal human being would do in a certain situation, but it does pick up towards the end of the movie, the latter half of it, once they start accepting the fact that they done up. There's a scene in the basement of the apartment, which is to me like the scariest scene in the movie, where you actually do see the demonic element show up. And not like with The Conjuring, where it was very just spooky stuff, lights flickering, people getting turned upside down inside of chairs and doing cartwheels and stuff like that. This one, you literally see like a demonic visage in these scenes, and that did give me a sense of dread or chill. But also, when she's in the elevator trying to close it to go up, and it kept opening back to the basement of hell, why didn't she hit another button? It's like, I'm sitting here looking at her, I'm like, press another button. Seriously, try something else. It had the spook factor I was expecting from it. And I know most of my friends who have, when I was saying I was going to watch first Annabelle, most of them suggested, I think, the second one. So I'll eventually get to the second one at some point in time. This continues to be a trend, and that's just something we're going to be doing, horror movies during the spooky season. That's just my thing. That scene alone was good. Alfre Woodard, the legendary Alfre Woodard, is also in this movie. She plays Evelyn, a tenant in the apartment who obviously senses what's going on, and she's like a bookstore owner, and she goes out of her way to help this young couple. I'm a little miffed at the ending of the movie, you know, with her sacrificing herself to suppress the demonic spirit, or at least to relieve Mia, stupid Mia, of this curse. I kind of wish that didn't happen for a multitude of reasons, but from the context of the story, her character, you know, she lost her daughter at a certain point in life and didn't get a chance to save her, so obviously she is atoning for that by trying to save this young couple and their young daughter. So I get it from a story standpoint. There are some good elements in the movie, like there's the scene where Mia's like freaking out, and it's clearly the demon wants her to give up her soul, and she like attacks Annabelle and like smashes it against the crib and throws it on the floor, and then they cut away to see the baby on the floor. I'm like, oh shit. But then it wasn't. So there were good moments that kind of gave me a shock value within the context of what the movie was trying to achieve, obviously. I don't have a lot of reference in terms of saying if this is the best one, because obviously I haven't seen any of the other ones. The first half of the movie drags a little bit for me just because of the setup, and to get it to the point where they transition to getting into the next level, it's coming for you sort of thing. I wish that was a little quicker, or I wish as characters they felt a little bit more urgency, because after like the fifth time your sewing machine kicks on its own, and this is like 1960 something, 1970 or something. What year is it? I don't know. They don't really specify it. After that much time, you should start taking this shit a little seriously, or get rid of the one element that clearly is binding all this stuff together, the creepy doll. I kind of have this same vibe with Chucky, where it's like, just smash the doll into a million pieces and call it a day, but it's not my house. Ultimately though, I thought Annabelle was fine. It didn't make me wet the bed. I did have a good time watching it. I don't like sometimes where certain horror movies, people are just way too stupid for their own good. But overall, like the spook levels toward the second half really kept me engrossed. The last like 10-15 minutes definitely hyped that up, especially with where it was going, and I wasn't expecting certain things to happen. While I don't fully agree with the ending, I think for the story purposes, the ending serves itself well. Man, that poor padre or father or whatever who tried to take the doll and take it to the church, he just got rocked. Poor guy. I mean, if he just ran inside and didn't look back, maybe he wouldn't have gotten yeeted off the steps. Who knows? I mean, ultimately though, I had a good time watching Annabelle. I'll probably check out the next installments of it as we continue on, but more than likely the next one in the Conjuring universe I will check out as the very first Nun movie and go from there. But That was my experience watching Annabelle for the very first time. Let me know what you thought of Annabelle as a character or as a movie franchise. Let me know that stuff in the comments down below. And thank you for checking out this and all my videos. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, month of October, I try to get out of my comfort zone and watch stuff that might make me cover my eyes a little bit more. So this year, Annabelle just hit that list. I'm gonna try to watch a few other stuff. There's another one that I have watched that I'm going to talk about here very shortly. So do stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you know when all that stuff hits the channel. Follow me on most social media at DeakyQuill. I do stuff like this all the time and live streams. So I'd love to have you join in on the channel and on the conversation. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe. And until the next time, I will catch you later. See ya. Ooh, spooky, spooky.